common misconceptions. All fuel is the same. Customers are the same. Doesn't matter. I hear people, I sell product to anyone with skin. Do ya? Because that doesn't really work. More fuel is better. It's just a numbers game. We just need to reach more people. Not necessarily. Cheap fuel is just as good. I'll just throw in whatever I can get, and it can't possibly hurt my engine, right? When in fact, can be detrimental. So, unqualified leads, list buying, demographics. Everybody loves the demographics because it's data. But is it good data? It depends. So let's talk about demographics for a second. We have two real-life, honest-to-God, still living at this time princes. Both of them born in 1948. Both of them born in England. Both of them grow up in very wealthy, well-to-do families. They both get a dog at the same time. They both go to university to study their things. They both end up getting married. They both end up getting divorced. They live in castles in opposite sides of the kingdom. They are wealthy and famous, according to data on paper. These are the same person. You should be able to sell the same thing to these two people, right? All right? Huh? Should be able to sell whatever you want to both of these. But if I tell you about our two princes, who are they? Prince 1, well, he's kind of now a king. This would be former Prince King Charles, and of course our second prince is Ozzy, Prince of Darkness. And no, I cannot make this shit up. What are you actually going to sell to both of these guys? Probably tea? I don't know. Yeah. Dude, yes. Tea. Tea for the win. Maybe a castle, but they're not the same castle, are they? Right? We have to understand the context and how they live their lives and the outcomes they're looking for. The outcome Ozzy is looking for is entirely different than King Charles. So trying to sell the same thing just based on demographics, you are assuming that your fuel is all the same throughout and you can just put that in your little engine and it'll work great. Not gonna fly. So what you need to sort this out isn't necessarily to walk away from those demographics, but you need qualitative research in order to add context to the numbers that you already have. So qualitative research is, get this, actually talking to people. Who knew? Everyone now wants you to just put out a survey. No. Until Skynet truly takes us all over and we're integrated into the matrix, we're still working with people. So we need to actually talk to them. Watching what people do tells you so much. If you have like an actual physical store or shop and stand back and instead of like, I'm selling stuff, let somebody else do it and stand back and watch for like 2 hours. You will learn more in those 2 hours than you will with any amount of data you can get on paper, period. It's developing journey maps, citing your challenges, wins, opportunities, and those outcomes that people are looking for. It's truly understanding what are people trying to do in their day-to-day lives and how do you fit into that? That is what qualitative research is. What is it not? It is not the dreaded NPS. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to buy this thing? For what? Like, what are you doing with it? Am I going to buy that car to go off-roading? Probably not. My answer would be 0. You know, focus groups. It's like the 12 angry men of anything, right? You're going to have one guy or gal, we'll say person, who's going to be blah, 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 blah in the focus group, and you're going to have a couple people go, yeah, sure, and then you're going to have a couple people like, I am too scared to say anything, but and they're the ones that you actually need to listen to. So focus groups, no. Analytics, again, is just numbers. It is missing context. It is a good how many things are happening. But those numbers don't tell you why people did what they did. They only tell you what, not why. And surveys, because again, You could put a survey out there, but if you ask the question wrong, they're not doing it. So for example, NPS. There was an insurance company that worked really, really hard on their how to get people signed up for their umbrella policies. And they wanted to streamline the whole thing online. And they did all this stuff, and they did research, and they did focus groups, and they did all this stuff, and they built this beautiful thing. And they were bringing people in so they could watch them, shadow and observation. And this guy went through, click, 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 and he did all the things, and he bought the insurance, and everything was great, and he was happy, and it gets to the end. How likely are you to recommend our umbrella insurance to someone else? And he said, 0, walked out the door. And one of the guys were like, oh my God, like the whole thing's a failure. So he goes running after the guy. And he's like, dude, why? Why did you give us a 0? Was it not good? He's like, oh no, the process was great. He goes, I don't know anybody that needs umbrella insurance. No context. We have to have that additional context. Give me the button. So, fun example. This is where the disclaimer comes in, by the way. Mountain Dew, owned by Pepsi. Big company. A few years back, launched Epic Thrill. Start with a chunk. Like you can see this, right? It's the jumping out of an airplane, on the skateboard, with the Mountain Dew. Yeah! Wildly successful here in the States, of course, because that's what we do here. Well, what's the next logical thing with it being wildly successful? Where else they speak English? Hey, the UK, let's send this over to England and Scotland and all those places. They speak English, we don't have to do anything, we could just launch this. So they send it over there. 48 hours later, have to pull everything. Everything. Now, it doesn't help with the magazine ads and the billboards, but all the digital, everything else gone. Why? Because in Scotland, chunk is slang for masturbate. So, not quite the message that Mountain Dew was going for. Of course, all the teenage boys thought it was great. Parents, not so much. All they needed to do was the tiniest bit of qualitative research, which would be, hey, Rory, you're over there in the office in Scotland. What do you think of this ad? Take it off to your kids. Because she's like, oh, no, dude. That's it. That's all they wanted to do. But they didn't. They were like, American boys and British boys are the same. We can sell this stuff. Fail. So let's talk about a little more of a business that's relatable thing. Barnes & Noble added 30 new stores to their stuff. And a new Matrix movie just came out. What year is it? Three years ago. So yes, everybody thinks Barnes & Noble's gone, right? They're not. They're actually have been surging back up. But what happened initially is they were great as a bookstore. In fact, sadly, they were putting a lot of little small mom and pop bookstores out of business because they could be everywhere all the time selling books. And then this little thing happened called Amazon. And Amazon came in and started kicking Barnes & Noble's butt. And Barnes & Noble said, well, shoot, clearly this is what people want. Our customers are Amazon customers too. They want all the things. So what did Barnes & Noble start doing? They started putting all kinds of crap in the bookstore. They started doing all the same promotional stuff that Amazon was doing. Oh, Amazon says this is the book. We're going to put this book out. And nobody was buying the book. And they started wasting tons and tons of money. And then they started nosediving even harder, to the point that when they were bought, I believe there were only 24 Barnes & Noble stores left in the States. The company out of England that bought them about 4 or 5 years ago was really into understanding customer experience, understanding what people truly are looking for and how can we craft our business to provide that. Who are the people we're trying to serve? So they went in and they looked at these 24 successful stores. And each one of these stores somehow miraculously had been left alone by corporate. And each of the managers had noticed that there were trends like, oh, In our city, people are really into beekeeping. So they had like a completely dedicated beekeeping section and a little display out front. And they would have beekeeping meetings there. And it was like this community hub. Another store was all about car fixing. Another store was about politics. And they went, maybe if we let the bookstores be bookstores again and actually help the community, because, trying to find a book online with the reviews is still hard. Do they like what you like? Like, it's great. Does not help, right? If you're looking for something specific, knowing that that's the book you need because others in your community are saying, yeah, I'm recommending it and stuff, and then you can just walk into the store and get it, is a huge plus. So that's what they built. Our customers are local buyers. Let's help them be local. We want a community of books and resources, not just an online retailer. We want refined choices of what we're doing here that has meaning to us. If we want whatever, we could just go buy that. We want something that has meaning. So our job is to create bookstores which are attractive for browsing, where people want to spend time and discover books, not buy endless crap. You got Amazon.